Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Chan? Here. Councilmember Davies?
Here.
Councilmember Smith?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Power?
Here.
And Mayor Fogencourt.
Here.
Everyone is present, thank you.
Okay, we'd like to have our invocation by Pastor Mark Bixler from the Church of Christ right around the corner.
Our Father, we are so thankful that we can be here together this evening. We're thankful that we can come together and find solutions rather than just focusing on problems, but help us to focus on them long enough to seek those solutions. Help us to be peacemakers and not just those who want our way. And Father, we are thankful for all of these city servants who help to make our life in this city a much better one than so many have. We pray these things in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Okay, we'd like to pledge. Michael?
Ready? Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Police Chief's report. Chief Standard.
Evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. So tonight we're going to recognize an employee of the quarter for the police department for the first quarter of 2025. And so the employee that was fortunate enough to be chosen, and it's not a ringer because it happens to be my executive assistant, Ray Budge. I didn't vote. So I just swayed and suggested, but I didn't vote. But no, it was unanimous across the board from command and supervisory staff. Over the last few months, we've been going through changes in records and dispatch, and when I got hired and Ray was moved in as my executive assistant, there had been a gap in some services there, so we kind of had to learn together how to get this place back up and running smoothly as it relates to records and documentation and a lot of different things. Ray's also had to sometimes cover in dispatch because of her expertise in there. She's also hopped in and worked in our evidence and our records. So Ray is a very vital employee to the department, and she fulfills a lot of roles more than just being the executive assistant. And it's often said in a lot of police departments that the executive assistant is really actually the chief, and the chief is just actually the figurehead that claims to work all day and attend a lot of meetings, which could potentially be possible, but not here, somewhere else, I'm sure. But with that being said, Ray, if you can come up before I embarrass you any further. Ray does not like the limelight, but she deserves it, contrary to what she believes. So I'll read this certificate. In recognition, presented to Ray Budge for her outstanding service, dedication, work ethic to the Tehachapi Police Department, we honor her with Employee of the Quarter for January to March of 2025. Ray consistently, and this is factual, goes above and beyond her duties managing records, supporting staff, ordering equipment, and assisting the Chief of Police with professionalism and efficiency. Her reliability, positive attitude, and commitment make her an invaluable asset to the department, and we sincerely thank Ray for her remarkable contributions and congratulate her on a deserved job well done. I don't get to point A or point B without Ray telling me when and where I got to be there. So, thank you, Ray. And if you want to come up and get a photo, did you want to introduce your family?
You guys. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
You want to let one with John holding the certificate? Can you hold the certificate, buddy?
Boy. Are you coming?
Yeah, I'm going to come on the other side of both.
Congratulations. That's great. Together. Together.
pictures, I'll never work for the CIA.
Okay, community engagement, key. Mr. Budge, it runs in a row here.
That's right.
That's very cool.
Very proud, very proud. Once again, it's good times to celebrate and recognitions that we're going to share right now. First, we've got is Earth Day cleanup. So Earth Day cleanup is a tradition that obviously is across the country. People take pride in cleaning up their neighborhoods. In the past, we've been the ones that first step forward and look for volunteers. This year, the Tehachapi Area Association of Realtors, their leadership came to us and said, we would love to do a cleanup. And said, would you like to do it on Earth Day? And it worked out perfectly for them. And thanks to their leadership enthusiasm to get it started, we did. And to go along with their leadership and getting it moving, Love Tehachapi stepped up, as they always do. So we had a huge turnout on April 22nd, and to go along with the energy that was started by TAR and by Love Tehachapi, Caltrans declared that our event was going to be District 9's Earth Day event. So they sent people down from Bishop to assist, gave us cleanup equipment to hand out to everybody, which was great. And then we had Starbucks employees show up without mention. They just showed up at the day of. And at the conclusion, Walmart sent ice chests filled with water, fruit, snacks. This volunteer crew of over 30 people filled a huge utility trailer with bags of trash and bulky items. Our Public Works Department was there to assist and ran a side-by-side up and down the Antelope Run Trail, which is where we focused. And they pulled more than 30 bags, large bags that were probably about 3.5 feet tall, filled with trash. I don't know what the weight was, but I can tell you that was all collected along the Antelope Run and things that were east of Walmart. So thanks to the support of this community, that area was cleaned up. It gets utilized by our citizens on a daily basis, and we'd like to recognize each of those groups. So if I could invite the mayor to come forward. I'd like to invite TAR. Do we have representatives from TAR? Love Tehachapi, I want you guys to join us. I don't have anyone from Caltrans or Starbucks or Walmart. You can invite them, but you never know, they surprised me on that day.
It's small. Crouch in here, I don't know. Vocabulary. We need a scoot up.
Yeah, let's see. We'll probably photograph from this angle over here.
Okay, we'll scoot.
Everyone make your eyes on Maya.
Like, where are we going?
But this group, each and every year shows up, and we just want to say thank you. We appreciate all your hard work, volunteerism. That's what makes Tehachapi such a great place to live. Thank you.
All right. Everybody ready? Okay, in 3, 2, 1. All right.
Take another one, honey.
Fifth one, sixth one.
There you go.
He's trying to come around.
That's okay. Are we doing one more? Yeah, just, sorry,
Yeah.
just,
He's making his way
we'll just
around.
do with, ready?
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And not only, I should also mention that TAR and Love Tehachapi, it's not a one-of. They do this multiple times every year. So I expect the leadership from TAR will probably be calling in a few months saying, Key, you ready for another one? Because they step up 3 or 4 times a year to help clean up the community. Love Tehachapi is always there, and at most of our events as well. So it's not a one-of. Okay. On to, I'm ready for my next item. And this one is, it's
I'm going to invite Don Marsh to step up, but we want to recognize Public Works. It's National Public Works Week. We're going to ask Mayor, Council that you recognize our Public Works Department. This is the first year that we've asked this, but our Public Works team works tirelessly. You know, they're on call 24/7, 365, just like our police department last week that we recognized back in the early 60s, 1962. President Kennedy signed in and recognized Public Works Week to thank those that take care of our infrastructure, that allow us to go on and enjoy our day-to-day lives without noticing anything. They take care of all the bumps in the road, the water, the wastewater. Our team works incredibly hard. I've seen members that are out here freezing cold out there digging into a water trench to fix a water pipe, and it's, you know, barely just above freezing. No complaints, they just go out and get it done. So I want to invite our Public Works Director, Don Marsh, to come up. And we also have a video. Tori, if you don't mind starting that. The video that we're going to show highlights just a small amount of the work that they do.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Gordon and council members. This, as Key mentioned, National Public Works Week was recognized by President Kennedy back in 1962, and actually the first Public Works Week was in 1960. The theme for this year is people, purpose, and presence. And whether it's, like Key said, responding to broken water lines, plugged sewer mains, or making roads passable during winter storms, Public Works is always there for the residents that we serve. And we're always available when we're called upon, no matter what time of day or night or weekends, and we're always there. The men and women of Public Works work every day to maintain everything from water, sewer, roads, parks, landscaping, fleet, buildings, all of it, and all of the public infrastructure that's owned by the city. And like I said, it's days, nights, weekends, snow, wind, cold, hot, doesn't matter. If the work needs to get done, we're there to do it. And so just want to say thanks to all the Public Works employees. We kind of have a saying that we like to work in the shadows, but this is an opportunity to come out of the shadows and let everybody know what Public Works does. We're not very good at that. We don't like sharing our work or letting people know what we do and kind of taking the limelight, but this is the week for us to do that. So I just want to say thanks, and just let you know, the other part of it is that we are trying to get better at sharing what Public Works is. Whether that is, we have people doing this regularly. We have employees volunteering at schools, sharing what Public Works is all about and teaching kids about that. We take time away from our families to work at special events, whether it be the Christmas parade, or Mountain Festival, or any of those events. A lot of these guys are working there when we're out, or other people are out with their families. And I have to tell a story about this, but I think every one of our spouses at one point or another has gotten irritated with us because we're just out for a walk and we see something wrong. We have to write it down so we don't forget, or there's a piece of trash as you're walking, we pick it up. You can't just walk by these things without doing something about it. So just want to say thanks to all these guys for all their hard work.
Definitely.
That's it.
Thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, haven't they gotten 1,400 days without any absences as well?
We
Which
just
I think
passed
is
our 4th year,
remarkable.
so we're just a
Yeah.
little bit over 4 years without a lost time accident. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yes, I think that's quite something.
Photo op time. Public Works.
Come on, guys and gals.
Don, what's the total staff on Public Works now?
Just right at 30.
Whoa, just to be just half of those guys taking care of everything, that's great.
We probably have a little more to maintain than we used to.
Are we going?
All right, everybody squeeze in.
Pretend like you like each other.
I think they must because they haven't been absent.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Sorry.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, guys.
Jimmy, do you have any questions?
And thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate your work. I see you working all the time on the streets when I'm driving, and I always wave, but I don't know if you guys acknowledge that. But anyway, we thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, consent agenda. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by city staff. Consent items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion if no member of the council or audience wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the city council concerning the item before action is taken. Staff recommendations are shown in caps. Do we have any written or oral communication?
If anybody, yes, like to
Oh,
have anything
I'm
removed.
sorry. Anybody in the audience, public, wish to have any of the items removed? Council?
Yes, please. I'd like to have item 12 removed from consent.
Okay. Any audience or written oral communications, Ashley?
No, we'll need just a motion.
Okay, oh,
I'll
I'm
make
sorry.
a motion that we approve consent with item 12 removed.
I'll second
Councilmember Chun?
it. Yes.
Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard?
Yes.
Mayor Pokencourt?
Yes,
5-0 vote, motion carried with the removal of item 12.
okay. Keep me on track, you guys. Okay, audience, oral and written communications, Ms. Ashley,
We don't have anything written.
oral,
Any public comment?
public comments? Okay. Okay, city report, city clerk reports.
We are on finance reports, number 9.
Oh, we're way, oh, that's right. Oh, doke.
Mayor Pokencourt, council members, the first item here is for the levy of assessments for landscaping in Lighting District Number 1. I'd like to ask you to please open the public hearing and then receive the notice of public hearing and correspondence from our city clerk.
Hearing is now open.
It was published on April 23rd in the Tehachapi News, and we have not received any correspondence. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, staff reports, Hamid.
Thank you. This item is for the levy of assessments for landscape and Lighting District Number 1 for fiscal year 25-26. At the previous council meeting on April 21st, council adopted 3 resolutions that initiated the proceedings, approved the preliminary engineer's report, and declared the intent to levy the assessments. The final engineer's report is included in this agenda item, and it includes background on all of the zones within the landscape and Lighting District Number 1, and also describes the methodology and how the assessments were calculated, and sets the annual maintenance cost for the district at $978,810.51. However, the amount that can be levied through the property tax bills is capped at $419,268.44. And that difference of about $559,000 is what the general fund provides as a subsidy. That concludes my report, and I recommend that you close the public hearing and, first receive public comment, close the public hearing, and then adopt a resolution amending and or approving the final engineer's report regarding the landscaping and lighting assessment district number 1 and the levy and collection of annual assessments related thereto for fiscal year 2025-2026, and adopt a resolution ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the landscaping and lighting district number 1 for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Okay, do we have any public comments? Anybody? All right, I've closed the hearing then. Council comments?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. Thank you. Because I understand, and I just wanted to say we're very lucky to be able to afford to pay for the overage, of, above and beyond the levied amount on maintenance. And, I just visited the Northern California at the Berkeley. In fact, oh my goodness, their tax is amazing. They're just very expensive city. I could not believe how dirty. I mean, dirty is one thing, but the weeds all over. And I said, oh my goodness, this is, our city is so small. We're so neat and clean, and wherever we go, I don't see any trash. So thank you, staff. And, then again, I am so proud of our city that we are able to spend out of general fund to keep our community clean. Thank you.
Council comments, yes.
Just as a side note, the Brightview that we've been using, really, really impressed with the work that they've done. Superior services. It's like night and day. So thank you very much for investigating and finding someone who does such a stellar job.
I would echo that with the Brightview contract that we have. Really, they do a very good job at what they're, paid to do. But the grooming, the landscaping, and then you'll see them doing something across the street, and someone mentioned, like I think it was Don, saying how people will pick up trash. I'll see that crew, it's not their job, but they'll go and pick up some trash across the street from where they're working. It's just the added little benefits that you get, and they seem to be a very dedicated company, and I'm glad we have them. So,
I was out riding my scooter the other day, and they're working at one of the parks, and I just stopped and see what they're doing, talked to them. They're all really nice guys. Everybody got along real, they answered all my questions and want to know what they're doing and everything. So it's kind of cool that their willingness to let us know what they're doing.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion based on staff's recommendation.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Chung?
Yes.
Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Power?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cord?
Yes.
5-0 vote, motion carried.
Then we have item 10, and I guess you're in charge of that as well.
Yes.
Okay, so we will open hearing. Hearing is open.
This was published again April 23rd in the Tehachapi News, and we have not received any correspondence. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the annual public hearing process for Drainage Benefit Assessment District number 1 and number 1B. Previously at the April 21st council meeting, council adopted 3 resolutions that initiated the proceedings, approved a preliminary engineer's report, and declared the intent to levy the assessments. The engineer's report, final engineer's report that's included in your agenda packet, Again, gives the background of the district and provides the total maintenance cost for next fiscal year at $11,742.58. And in this case, the entire amount can be recovered by placing the levy on the property tax bills. So that concludes my report. I would recommend that you receive public comment, close the public hearing, and adopt a resolution approving the annual engineer's report and ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the City of Tehachapi Drainage Benefit Assessment District Number 1 and Number 1B, parcel map 11353, for fiscal year 2025-2026, pursuant to the provisions of the Benefit Assessment Act of 1982.
All right, close the hearing.
Ask for public comment first.
Oh, I'm sorry, I checked it off already, but public comment, do I have any public comment? None? Okay, and close the hearing again. So council comments? Hannah, Jeanette?
Nope. None.
District 1 is over on the other side of Tehachapi Boulevard primarily, is that correct?
Yes,
Just out of
there's
curiosity.
kind of two. So there's a spot along Tehachapi Boulevard between Denison and Bailey Court, and then the other part of the district is on the other side of the railroad tracks, I believe, north of
Yeah, that's
Tehachapi
District 2.
Boulevard.
Okay.
The benefit of the DVAD is different than the council
I
districts.
see.
that
Thank
are-
you.
It's
Thank
not
you.
the
Oh, I
council
see.
district,
Okay.
it's a
Okay, that's why I was
district
curious.
for drainage assessments.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Chung?
Yes.
Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Power?
Yes.
Mayor Pokencourt?
Yes.
5-0 vote, motion carried.
Okay, Public Works reports, Tyler? Or Mr. Napier, sorry.
Good evening, Mayor Pokencourt, council members. Tonight we have the renewal of the delegated maintenance agreement with Caltrans in the city of Tehachapi for the Highway 202 and Tucker Road project. You may recall back in July of last year, we entered into an agreement with Caltrans to basically assist them and kind of subsidize some of the work that they're not able to get to as frequent as we would like to, specifically painting the red curbs, graffiti removal, trash and litter pickup, and street sweeping. So what we basically did was I partnered with Caltrans. We talked through kind of what their budget is. So whenever a project is done with Caltrans, like doing maintenance work for them, they're never going to want to exceed what they spend. So I went back and forth with them on the scope and things like that, and we basically agreed with them of a total of about $33,000 per year that we could bill them back for the work we do, pick up trash, things like that, street sweeping after storms and so on. Thankfully, they were very happy with our progress and the work we're doing. We began in August through March, and to show the efficiency of our public works crew, which they were here, but to kind of talk through the efficiencies of them. If you broke out the $33,000 per year, that would equate to about $2,766 per month that we would typically bill them. We're able to do all the work for $925 a month. So that's the average from August to March. So that's good. So that Caltrans is going to like that a lot. You know, we want to keep this partnership. The main thing was whenever people drive on Tucker Road, they don't think Caltrans, they think city, right? So we want to do everything in our power to reflect everything we can to look good for the city. And again, the partnership with Caltrans has come a long ways. With Greg and engineering staff and things like that, we've leaps and bounds above what it was 10 years ago when I came here. So basically they reached out to me and said, hey, we'd like to do another year. Originally we were under the Clean California program. That program ended throughout the state, but they're extending our specific agreement. So it's kind of cool, kind of a tip of the hat to the city that they completely cut the funding for Clean California, but they still kept our process. So we intend to continue this as long as they'll let us. And by keeping it way under budget, I think that's really going to incentivize them to assist us with that. So simply put, my recommendation is for authorize the mayor to enter into a maintenance agreement with Caltrans for the city to conduct street sweeping services, maintenance and storm cleanup, red curb painting, and litter removal. Any questions? One final note real quick, sorry. exploring additional opportunities with them. You know, we're able to prove to them that we're able to do the work safely and efficiently. Something that's specific for Greg and I that's bothered us over the years is the on and off ramps around town. You know, we have a big, I always say, the second you drive into a town, you get off the off ramp, like Hannah was saying, up north, you drive off the off ramp, there's weeds, there's trash. It immediately looks poorly on the city, regardless of who's responsible for it. So we're exploring opportunities with them to potentially do some maintenance of those on and off ramps throughout up along 58 as well. So hopefully I'll have something to you here in the coming months, some sort of agreement with that as well.
Okay. Do I have any public comments? None? Council?
So I had requested that this item be removed from the consent, and you answered the questions. I was very specifically interested in the number ratio as to how much we were spending and how much the Caltrans was contributing back. So thank you very much. You answered my questions.
Yeah, it's basically a time and material process. So we purchase paint to paint the curbs. We put that all in the invoice. They pay us back for that. So again, we're able to do the work much cheaper than anticipated. So. Yeah, so we're excited about that.
And how far on 202 do you go? Just
basically,
to Tucker?
if you think McDonald's, that's technically 202, so our city limit's right about McDonald's. And then we extend all the way to the bridge deck. That's just north of Walgreens, that area. We'll extend a little further with sweeping just to kind of clean it up a little bit extra, and they're perfectly fine with that. So yeah, if you guys have noticed over the years, they would, every time it snows a half an inch, Caltrans loves to throw down, you know, literally tons and tons of sand and cinder for the snow, and then it melts off by 10 a.m. and then they don't have a sweeper here locally often, so it would just sit there for months, and it would just be all pushed off to the sides and the gutters, and typically that would just end up in the storm drain if it rains. That's our storm drain too, so we're incentivized to maintain that as well.
Do you get anything for the maintenance of the equipment, like the sweeper? I didn't realize how often those brushes have to be replaced, and they're very expensive.
Yeah, that's all.
Are you able to recoup?
That's all built into the hourly rate for the sweeper itself. Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Thank you.
That's one thing. If we're going to do any work on the off-ramp, I want to make sure our guys are protected, because people just don't pay attention. They're coming off the freeway at 75 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and that would be
Caltrans, if and when they allow us to do that work, there'd be very specific restrictions for us that we have to be so many feet, you know, off the roadway, that kind of the right of way where trucks pull on and off. We would be well within that area, kind of that grass and weed area, you know, along there. We'd be fully off the roads. Yeah, to the point where it wouldn't require traffic control plans, things like that. You know, you kind of associate it like the Adopt a Highway, where you see people, volunteers picking up trash. It's the same idea. It'd be the similar process as that. So we're not going full on lane closures and all that kind of stuff.
That's my big concern.
Yeah,
just see it coming. I used to take every day on and off freeways, you know, and I just see how people drive. So I just ask we be careful.
Yeah, the hope would be able to just do kind of an initial jump on the trash, especially, and then we would just be able to maintain it very easily. And then potentially the mowing, because they let the weeds grow. Again, it's all about their equipment. You know, they're out of Bishop, so they don't always have equipment here, and they bring mowers down once or twice a year. And sometimes it's too late in the season, so we're working with them on that.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Second?
Councilmember Chum? Yes. Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Power?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Concord?
Yes.
5-0 vote, motion carried.
Thank you.
One other
Thank
additional
you,
comment.
Mr. Nate.
Do they have any additional equipment now that they have the new facility?
I don't know, actually. I've actually seen a sweeper in their yard here on the boulevard often. Don't see it out much, but I see it there
Well,
parked.
I think you'll see it on the freeway, though.
Yeah.
They'll have trucks and the highway patrol and the sweeper.
quite an operation
Trying to
for
get
them.
the median, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they have CHP and trucks, and it's a
big
major
operation.
deal for them. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, obviously they're vested here for a long term. So,
It's good.
thank you
Yes,
all.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Okay, city manager reports. Mr. Garrett.
Thank you, Mayor Tom Pogencourt. One very simple and important event that's happening. It's Monday, Memorial Day. So TVRPD and the American Legion, VFW, others are hosting a ceremony at Central Park, 11 a.m. to honor those that have fallen. So please join us Monday at 11 a.m. to honor our fallen. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, council member reports.
I just wanted to
Anna?
quickly say, so it's a Public Works Week, and, you know, I do appreciate their hard work, and, you know, like I said, our town looks so nice and all, but I also wanted to mention the Water and Sewer Department, and they're not included in the Public Works, but they're under Public Works. And their work cannot be overlooked. And you know, when you have a water problem, it's just serious. And when you have a sewer problem, that's even more serious. So thank you. And please pass my message to your Water and Sewer Department, please.
Same kind of thing. This last week, some of you may know I was working on the monolith mural, and we had some issues with our equipment. And JR from Public Works stopped by, and I could tell tonight he had no clue who I was because I was in overalls and a baseball hat, and you guys have all seen me. And so I could just tell when I shook his hand, said, "Hi, thank you, JR." He looked stunned, like, "Oh wait, I know that face." But Justin and JR stopped and checked on us quite regularly, and then of course Tyler, you helped us too with water. But I want to thank them. Thank you guys. You know, they had no clue who I was. They just want to make sure that we were safe and that we had what we needed. And we was a volunteer group out working on the monolith mural. And I thank you guys very much for everything you do.
I just wanted to love Tehachapi left and our city crew and everybody's pick up trash. I know that's a big deal. I drive my scooter on the Outlaw Parkway quite a bit, and it's amazing how much trash is out there. You think, why is there trash here? You know, but where the wind blows. But no, I appreciate, you know, picking up. If we could just get rid of the dang ravens on trash days, I think I'd be happy. But that's the worst. Yeah. But you know, people have got to learn to quit overfilling their trash cans. But that's kind of the mess, and that all ends up at the end of the cul-de-sacs, and that's where a lot of their trash is coming from. That's how I feel. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Cool.
At our last COG meeting, we have a new representative for District 6 and then District 9. They gave an update on the truck climbing lanes, how it was going to be working. I believe there's a video online now that I'm not sure. I think they're updating that. I don't know, it might be worth having them down to council one night, Greg, if they're up to it, to just give us an overview, or maybe closer to the time, because it's scheduled for spring of 2027. I had to ask them to define what spring is. So it's generally around March-ish through May, they'll begin construction. Okay.
It's definitely on our radar.
Okay, but when it gets a little closer, but they did give an update as why they cannot do crossovers and have the traffic on the other side while they're working on this side. On a level flat, or on a level 4 lanes, you can do it. You can just do a crossover. On this, there's so much of a deviation and elevation from the eastbound and the westbound lanes. It's not possible. But so they gave us an update on that, and that's good. And just making sure that the money's still there. 257 million. He threw out a number of 222 million, and I questioned that, and then one of the staff member came out and said, "You were right. The 222 million is the construction portion of that. You still have all the engineering. They're still working on the right-of-way around Caliente. I think there's 8 parcels to be negotiated for expanding the width of the freeway at that point. So that's still ongoing. So that's all I have.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
It's a great, I know you've worked so hard and diligently on this, and we really appreciate it. It's taken a long time. Okay, any others? I just want to thank everybody in our city government. It takes a village. We can't do it by ourselves. We have to have everybody that will contribute to making Tehachapi a beautiful city. No closed session?
No closed session.
Okay.
All right.
All righty, I adjourn the meeting.